No, under the. You know how when it's low, you can see pipes going under the
Man,
road?
they told me the water came above the curb one year. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
You was around?
I've seen them laying sandbags over that.
Sand, like the army?
Huh?
Like in the army, sandbags?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
they
in Louisiana.
like it was a flood. So that's the first time I ever seen you come inside the building. So you came through the back way.
Yeah, well, I deliver back there.
You might as well go. Usually you take that walk. Even I think it rained.
I like to do that walk. And I love that.
Even in raining, you do it.
With all the problems we have in this country, I'm glad I live here.
At least you get right.
Yeah.
People
At least
always
we
say.
have a chance.
People always say, you know, third world countries and stuff, and we got it bad over here. You can't go to the store, get no Snicker bar, no Reese's cup, and no soda nowhere else. Just walk to the store and get it. And other places, you got a boy, you got a
guy from South Philly.
I think you told
me.
me.
He's going in the Navy right out of high school.
Yeah, I think you told me.
I told you about him.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, he said in the cities around the Mediterranean, this is 30 years ago, he's telling me this, and he's talking back 20 years earlier. He said it would cost you a week's pay to buy a nice dinner because of all these fancy restaurants where the millionaires go.
See what I'm saying?
He said in South America and Africa, he said you can buy a lunch or a dinner for like a nickel.
Dang.
And he said what they do, they take a piece of crusty, moldy bread, and
Ew.
they lay it on a platter, and then they give you a scoop of some crap that's cooking in a kettle. You don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, sometimes it's, if you're hungry, it's good.
Yeah.
But he said, you don't know what's in it.
Heck no.
Yeah. So he said that the thing he learned was in South Philly.
Yeah.
Just that little area he lived in. There were more places where you could go and get an affordable meal.
Good dude.
In whole cities.
In whole freaking countries, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
Whole countries, probably.
Yeah, I told you. I'm telling you.
But he said it taught him to appreciate. That's why he came back to South Philly.
Absolutely.
And he lived there. He had now his mother had left him with an alcoholic father. His wife left. And he had 2 kids. He had a daughter and a son. His son had just joined the service.
Yeah.
His daughter had been a nurse in the Army.
Okay.
And she was about to get her nursing diploma, owed 0.
Yeah.
Because they train you, they
get you ready to go.
Yeah, you work your way through it.
Yeah.
You know. And he said, you know, she could, even then, he was saying, when she gets out, she's going to be able to go anywhere and make $50,000 a year.
Easy.
Yeah.
Well, you in the military.
30 years.
That's a lot of money. Well, that's 100 now. So in the military, anywhere like that, you're going to make a lot of money. You can make, because they know you loyal, you put in that work. First thing they ask you a lot of times on these applications, hey, you got military background.
Right.
And I guess they just check everybody else off the list. Once you say yes or no, then they can check it. Which makes sense.
Now, put it this way: if you
got a little bit of that,
if you get a regular discharge, you know, either honorary or just a regular, they know you can follow orders and do your
That's
job.
what I'm saying. The basics.
Yeah, it's kind of like a college.
Yep.
You know, it shows you can discipline and whatever.
So
he didn't go in. He didn't went in the military to get away from his father.
Yeah.
And he said the first thing he liked about the Navy was that they didn't discriminate. He said they treated all of us like shit.
Yeah, you have a choice.
I loved he had that kind of sense of humor. You know?
The Army.
But his name was Robert. And he said, you know, he
got through it. He got through it.
This country was messed up.
Yeah.
But he said, I own a house. And he was proud of his 2 kids.
At least, right.
He got left with 2 kids, so he stepped up to the plate.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
And, you know, I got no degree. I got no degree. I own a house. I got stocks.
Same here. But we learned a lot though through all this wisdom and.
Well, there are countries where even if you were able to figure out how to do that,
you ain't gonna get.
You wouldn't be allowed.
Quarter of
Take
it.
it from you.
You would. If you get ahead a little bit, you wasn't getting it.
Right.
If you get. Oh wait a minute, he figuring it out. Nope, gotta get it. See, that's why we say. I think they just be saying, they just make up stuff. They don't really believe it. I don't think they believe it.
I don't think life has ever been easy for the multitudes.
Of the
I think
whole
what
world.
It is, what they're getting is just enough to exist because there's not enough to spread around.
Yeah.
That's socialism.
Yeah.
This guy that I used to hear him on the radio, he played the Russian KGB actor, and he was from Russia. He was a friend of Gordon Liddy's.
Oh, yeah.
And Gordon Liddy said to him, when you're in Russia and you work, he said, all the jobs are from the state. He said, you really work? Yep. And the guy said, well, put it this way. He said, we pretend we work, and they pretend they pay us.
Right. Pretty much.
Where are you going to go with that?
Nowhere. Full circle.
Well, you get a place to live, and you get enough to exist. But you can't get ahead.
You can't move
to the suburbs.
It's called a setup. It's a setup.
Yeah.
But that's what we doing.
And
but
you know what? I think a lot of the people, and I think a lot of our government want it like that.
Yeah.
We're easier to control.
It's easier that way.
Stupid, keep us down. If we have cars and we have our freedoms, we can rebel against them.
You can't. Yeah. Once you give them almost like an animal. Once you give an animal freedom more than they need, that little extra, they gonna start going further and further. Oh, where you going, man? My yard got a gate, leash. They're like, where you going? Wait, whoa! You hop that gate, ain't you, boy? Oh, up that gate. They know.
Dog that kept breaking his.
They know it. Yeah.
He kept breaking his leash.
Naturally. Yeah, on his own.
So what I did, I put him on a cable. And he had a run. It would go like this, and then it would go like 80.
Oh yeah, it's connected to a thing. Yeah.
He would get running. He learned how to manipulate it.
Yeah.
He would get running down the hill, and he would go up against it, and it would swing him up by his neck. And my mother kept seeing that. My mother went out and unhooked him.
Yeah.
She said, if he wants out of the yard that bad,
let him go.
Let him go.
Yeah.
And she said he would get running down the hill and he'd clear a 5-foot fence by 3 foot.
Wow.
She said he would jump so high because he learned to use
the momentum. Yeah.
And the other one, his girlfriend, the dog that he had puppies with, she would climb it like a cat. She couldn't jump.
Yeah.
She wasn't as strong as him. He was really strong. But she told me, she said, just let him run once a week. He needs to get out and run around and come back.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
And he knew about cars. He knew not to just run out in the road. He'd walk up to the road. He'd look, and if he heard a car coming, he'd lay there and wait for it to go by. He saw another dog get hit.
Yeah, he probably they're smart like that. They do know.
Yeah.
But
you learn. He learned. He also got hit. I was swimming with him. And he got hit, but not bad.
Good. It must be a big dog.
It knocked him down, but it scared it. But he learned the car is bigger than him.
Yeah, man.
So he was a good dog guy. My father used to say he was meaner than a junkyard dog.
I love my dog. Yeah, I had a good dog. We had good dogs. We had dogs in the granddad days, and we tried to get rid of them. We used to keep hopping the gate, chasing everybody. We tried to get rid of them, right? We took them all the way to Drew Hill Park, right? And let him go in the woods. He came all the way back home. An hour away, he still figured. I was like, how the frick he find? How he find out where he go?
There were people that had moved and they couldn't find their dog, and then a month later the dog tracks them down.
That's crazy. They got some serious skills, man. Like, how the frick he find?
Amazing. They're actually pretty amazing animals.
Yeah, man.
It's a wonder we don't work. Well, maybe you do because people buy their dogs.
Nowadays they do. Yeah. They got blue car, blue shield for them. You already know.
But you know how I got that dog? This guy at Ward Machinery brought 4 puppies in. and he didn't want any money for him, but and there were about 10 people that wanted him.
Uh-huh.
The rest of the guys lived in apartments.
Yeah.
I lived with my parents out like Bay Reservoir area.
I know what that's at. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They still got that meeting race cars right there.
And that's as soon as I told him where I lived and that they had 3 acres of land, he said,
yeah,
pick which one you want.
that way he need to run at.
So
Yeah.
I found out he drank Old Forester whiskey.
The
And
dog?
I brought him in a fifth of whiskey the next day. He was named
Oh yeah,
Paul.
for the exchange.
Yeah. What happened, their mother was pregnant, and some kid, he lived in Hollandtown.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
he got
right.
yards that are like walled in.
Yeah.
It's all cement. It's
Yeah.
Cement City.
Yeah.
But this kid that was
He fed dogs
doing
with
whatever
bad
in the
stuff.
backyards came over the wall and jumped on top of the mother of this dog when she was pregnant. And she almost ripped his leg off. So they let him keep her long enough to have the pups.
Yeah.
And then they put her to sleep. So when she bought these pups, my mother said they couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 weeks old.
Yeah, that's how it started.
But he started off drinking. We were feeding him milk out of a bottle. And
Yeah,
the
for the-
bottle came
yeah,
over
for
one
the-
time with
yeah.
a bowl to him, and he stuck his face in it.
Yeah, it must be a big. What's a big Great Dane or something?
He was a part
Pit bull.
shepherd, part not. Part
Yeah.
Belgian shepherd, part not. He looked
Oh,
like
yeah.
a bear cub.
Yeah.
He was a good-looking dog, and he was real strong in the shoulders. and
Yeah.
front. I mean, when he got older. He
Yeah.
would actually patrol our yard.
They know better.
If it
Yeah.
snowed, he would wear a track in the snow. He would do like all the way around where the fence was. He knew that was his job.
See?
And he'd be laying in his doghouse sometimes with snow on his head.
Yeah, they like
And
that.
he'd knock on the window and he'd shake his head.
They like that.
He liked being outside.
That's how we had a husky German Shepherd
Okay.
and Pookie, and Pookie used to be out there in that snow, and they'd be like, "Oh, he cold." I'm like, "No, he like that. He ain't cold. He like that. He be laying in the snow like he on the beach." They're like, "No, it's too cold for a dog. Bring him in the house."
The sled dogs.
No, they love the snow. They love it. He was, and we try to bring him in the house. They try to bring him in the house. He used to fight like, "No, you don't want to
Have
go."
you heard of that movie called Gojo?
Yeah, I remember that.
About a sled dog.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that dog. I remember
Yeah,
that
I
one.
want to watch that with my grandkids.
Yeah, and watch Cujo.
Yeah.
All right, Bo.
It's just, the grandkids are just an excuse. I want to watch it.
Right.
It's